I'm trying to check if I see it on, hi guys, by the way, if I see it on Facebook, Arlene, but I don't see it yet.
Okay, well, to be mindful of everyone's time, we'll give them 3 more minutes. We'll start at 6:10. Is everyone okay with that? And I can see the list of attendees here. We have some newbies. I see Gemma's on here, and I've been in contact with Gemma via Facebook for a couple of months now, so I'm very happy she's here. She's been wanting to learn more about NextGen, so I'm hoping we're able to answer all of her questions this evening. Hi, Gemma. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I guess I do have the wrong Gemma. Sorry. I didn't know there was more than one. Sorry.
All Gemmas are welcome.
All Gemmas are welcome, totally. And the Gemma is you're right, it's a different last name. What are the odds, right? Que pena. Anyways. All right, we'll get started. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Arlene, so you're gonna be doing my back end stuff. So I just wanted to welcome you all. My name is Jackie Donate. I am your chair of NextGen here for Chapman Partnership. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about NextGen because I've been involved with them for about 8 years now. NextGen is the young professional group for Chapman Partnership. We help raise funds and awareness for this wonderful organization that really provides our homeless community with the tools and resources necessary to really get their lives back on track, from a place to live, to food, to helping them with job placement, resume building, even mental health issues, health issues. They really touch on all aspects of that, and our young professional group plays a big role in putting together events with other young professionals between the ages of 25 and 40 in the community to really support some of the great things they do, because as you can imagine, as anybody, homelessness touches everybody, and the reality of it is that a lot of these individuals have children and families, so the NextGen group really does focus a lot on bringing some normalcy to these children's lives, whether it's a back to school event or something centered around the holidays. We have always really done a lot for the children at the center, as well as providing meals for them. So tonight, the purpose of this event is to really educate you all on the great work that the group does. And since most of us are home and unable to get together, we figured we would bring a tour of Chapman Partnership to you. So before we do that, I did want to talk about NextGen and its membership. It's one of the cheapest and most affordable young professional groups in South Florida at this time. It's only $100 to become a member. As you can see here, there's a lot of benefits to becoming a member that we have listed. It's an annual membership. You get to participate in a lot of the events that we do free of cost. And then you also get discounted rates to other Chapman Partnership events, and the opportunity to meet other leaders within the organization. So I wanted to share on here, and I think Jessica's going to do it, but if you are a member and you haven't renewed your membership or you're interested in becoming a member, we're going to be sharing the membership link with you on the chat this evening so that you can just consider becoming a member and signing up. Those funds really directly impact the children and the families that we serve at Chapman Partnership. And then before we get started with our tour, I did want to take the time to get to know one another. So I'll read your names, and really I'd just like for you to share, your name, what you do for a living, and how long you've been involved with Chapman, or what you're looking to gain from being to learning today about Chapman. So like I said, I've been with Chapman for about 8 years, and I'm the chair of NextGen, and I really would love to hear from all of you. So I'm going to go around. My next person is Hansel. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good.
Nice to be on the call with everyone. As she said, my name's Hansel Shook. I am. I've been involved with Chapman 4 or 5 years now, but gradually ramping up and contributing more over time and really enjoying it. So get involved. I am professionally, I am an investor and an executive with a lot of earlier stage businesses, and a lot of them here in South Florida and elsewhere around the country. That's it.
Thank you, Hansel. Alan, we'll have you go next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alan Rosenberg. I'm a bankruptcy and commercial litigation attorney in Miami at a law firm called Markowitz, Ringgold, Trustee, and Hartog. I've been involved with Chapman for a couple of years now, I think maybe 3, I don't know. I'm also the chair of the networking committee. Prior to the pandemic, we planned lots of really fun events at bars, and we've had some stuff at yoga studios and lots of really fun networking events. And even though there is a pandemic, and I suspect that we won't be meeting in person, we have lots of really cool ideas for the year for all of us to get together and network and come up with ideas to support Chapman, to support our mission, but also to get to know each other. So for those of you on the call who are not yet involved with Chapman, I strongly encourage you to get involved. It's a great organization. The people that are involved are fantastic. And I promise you, you will not regret it.
Thank you, Alan. We'll have Angie go next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Angie Santibanez, and I'm the CRA specialist for Bach Florida Bank. I work in corporate social responsibility and CRA regulation. I've been involved in Chapman now. Jenny Marquez got me involved sometime last year, and I've loved it. Chapman is a staple in our community. It's an organization that does fantastic work, and I really love engaging the employees at the bank as well in all the Chapman initiatives and events that they put together. They do a great job. So I'm very excited to be here and look forward to continue serving with them. Thanks.
Thank you, Angie. Carlos?
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Carlos Ceballos. I've been involved with Chapman, I think, for 6, maybe going on 7 years now. When I moved to Miami about 7 or 8 years now. So as soon as I moved to Miami, I was trying to find an organization that was impactful. I like to stick with one, and I went all in with Chapman, really. So through Chapman, I've met a lot of the lovely people that are on this call, and I was in Jackie's role for a while. I was in Jackie's role for 3 years, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of work, and I had a lot of fun with the people that I collaborated with in that role. And today, doing a Chapman tour for me, I didn't think that I was going to, right? I've been in the facility a million times, and I know about this group obviously a lot, but for me, it provided just an option to connect and kind of connect with Chapman again, because so I'm a board member now at Chapman Partnership, and I haven't been able to connect in any way, attend any board meetings. So just very nice that you put this together so that I can kind of see you guys, we can talk and think about Chapman, because if it's not front of mind, you know what I mean? If you're not going, it's hard for kind of time to go by and the involvement. You just kind of take a step back naturally. And I think from the organization side, it's kind of hard to keep people engaged too. So thank you for doing this. You know, I think for me, the Chapman has been a fabulous story in the sense of like you get what you give. For me, you know, my time at Chapman has really kind of gone in parallel or in tandem with growth from a career perspective, and the networking side has been huge. I mean, I'm, like I mentioned, I'm now part of the board. I was invited, fortunately, to be part of the board, and you know, you meet so much incredible people and this organization, and you see the amount of people, influential people that believe really, really strongly in Chapman. And I mean, just a fun fact is the job that I am in now, the person that hired me, I met through Chapman, and it's really a showcase for everybody there to show what you can do, what you do, who you are, the type of person you are, and you create friendships like I did when I was a NextGen, you know, more of an active member, and you create friendships at the board level. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a path of growth too personally when you join Chapman, that, you know, you're giving, but it sounds cheesy, cliche rather, but it's true. I mean, you really, really get and you connect. So for those of you that are new, I think, are new to this organization today, if what you're looking is the way to help, but also to meet people, to grow your network and meet people that could be kind of critical steps in your career or in your personal path, this is a great place, because the people that support this organization are that kind of people, both at the NextGen level and at the board level. So those are my 2 cents. Again, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see some friendly, familiar faces, and I'd like to hear more about the ones, excuse me, more about the ones that I don't know.
Thank you, Carlos. Miss Jenny, we'll have you go next.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Marquez. I'm an attorney in Miami, and I practice in estate planning. I've been a part of NextGen for now 5 years, which is crazy to me, but I think it's just one of the beauties that we found a group that cares. Everyone has just said what Chapman does and the work that we do, and particularly I love just being with the children and making them feel special and giving them that hope and motivation to know that they can get through whatever situation they're in. And I'm sure that they're hurting right now, and I'm sure that families right now would love to just bring in other people that can bring in, spread more positivity towards them. But I think at this moment we're all reinventing ourselves, and I'm happy to be a part of this organization, and I hope that we can get more and more people involved.
Thank you, Jenny. Alina, I have you next on my list. You're muted.
So I'm just miming basically. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet everyone today. It's nice to put faces to all the NextGen members. I've been on the Chapman Partnership team now, it's almost 2 years. I work in marketing, and I do marketing and design. So I do a lot of behind the scenes.
Thank you, Alina. Nice to finally put a face to the name.
Yes, same.
I have Anamaria on here, but I just wanted to let everyone know she's on, but she's messaged me that she's had some issues with her microphone, but she is one of our council members and a longtime supporter of Chapman. So I just wanted to welcome her and let you all know why I'm skipping through her. The next person I have is Vivi.
Sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Vivi Anamaria. I'm a development coordinator for Baptist Health Foundation. I actually know of the organization through Jackie. We work together, and I'm excited to learn more and to support you guys more as well.
Thank you, Vivi. Cesar.
Hi, how's everybody doing? My name's Cesar Munoz. I'm the principal of Cristo Rey Miami High School. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about Chapman, but Arlene Peterson I've known her for about a year now. She's wonderful, and she invited me, so here I am, just looking to learn more and to get to know more of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Arlene, for the invitation. Jessie Caceres, I have you next on my list.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessie Caceres. I am the volunteer specialist at Chapman Partnership. So, you know, I can definitely attest to all of the work that groups like NextGen and other volunteer groups do at Chapman Partnership. It really, really, truly makes a difference. And I'm really excited for all of the information and all of the really great valuable resources that you all are going to get from this virtual tour today, because if you've ever spoken to me, or if you ever talk to me in the future, I will always tell you that volunteers are certainly the backbone of Chapman Partnership. So this is definitely going to help us to move forward and to continue to ensure that our residents are really getting everything that they possibly need. So thank you guys so much for being on this virtual tour with us today.
Thank you. Gemma, you're next, and I'm so sorry for getting you confused, but thank you for joining.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so my name's Hema. I'm a recent graduate from Florida International University. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in social work, and I'm very excited to learn more about the Chapman Partnership. I actually just applied to a case manager position, so I'm very excited to just learn more about it, and you know, hopefully I get the job. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. And I think the last, well, I had a John on here. Did he move? Hold on. Are you still on, John? I don't know. John? John? I don't see him. I don't. Okay, so we'll move on towards the tour. I'd like to introduce everyone to Arlene, who's going to be our tour guide this evening. You're muted.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you before.
Okay, you hear me right now?
Yes.
Excellent. So we do have someone else also on the call. She's helping us. She's a NextGen member and also helping us with the technology. So Nicole Mezzarina is also on here, and I just wanted to welcome her, my colleague as well, and thank her for taking the other part, the behind the scenes with me here. So, all right. So I obviously would have loved to have given you this tour in person, and I'm happy to answer some questions after. We'll go through a quick virtual tour. The first time we do something like this, so bear with me. But it's exciting at the same time. We're resilient. We're making things happen out of whatever we've got, right? So, all right, let's get started. So let's take a virtual step inside of Chapman Partnership, a place where families and individual men and women come to receive a variety of services, where they move from homeless to hopeful. Chapman Partnership was created with the vision of Alva Chapman to open the doors, a place that offers a clean, safe, and dignified temporary home that also offers all essential services right on site. This is especially critical now during the pandemic. You can see that our spaces have even been adjusted to maintain proper social distance protocols while meeting residents' needs from the moment they arrive. Our Miami Hope Clinics are a first stop resource during intake, where basic health and mental health issues are identified and addressed as part of a resident's success plan. Our interior courtyard offers residents a bright open area to socialize in small groups, wait for appointments, or even their laundry, as they have on-site laundry for their use. Residents also enjoy 3 meals a day, and they are nutritious as well as delicious because the cooks are amazing. Many of our meals are sponsored by community groups, including NextGen and other corporate and religious groups. On any given day, we're able to offer 850 beds between 2 centers that are divided into dormitory wings for single women, men, and families. The family dorms are intentionally separate for children's safety and offer a separate living area for family units to maintain their autonomy and special family time. But one of the most important elements for moving from homeless to homeful is our program services. Our trained case managers work with our residents from day one. They work together to remove obstacles, opening up opportunities from housing to employment and everything in between, including childcare, mental health services, and even opportunities for continuing education. The average stay for a resident at our center is 120 days, but it could be longer for a family. Our caring case managers work diligently even after residents move out to ensure success. These follow-up case managers check in up to 12 months after they've moved using our CHAP app. Chapman Partnership offers these wraparound services at both of our centers in downtown and Homestead. We run these centers with a staff of over 100, where 23% of which are former residents. While parents are getting the support they need through program services, their children are lovingly served through the Family Resource Center. They're able to engage in recreational and academic activities that keep them on the right track. Many of our community partners and support groups keep this program and their environment exciting and up to date with technology and books for the library, as well as experiences for our youth. Children that are younger than school age also have a special place set apart for them. One of the most helpful resources for parents working to get back on their feet is the Early Head Start program. Infants and toddlers are safely nurtured and cared for while mom, dad, or both are able to interview, go to school, or even work while staying at Chapman Partnership. Thanks to Alva Chapman's vision and our community support, hope lives here. So normally it would take us a lot longer to go through the center, and we did it in a microsecond thanks to Jessie. So we've all been working remotely except for Jessie, who's still on site, and she was able to go through and video for us, and she's taking care of a lot of the front lines, and we have many essential workers at Chapman Partnership who are taking it on every day. So between the two of us, we'd be happy to answer any questions, things that maybe even those of you who have been there before, maybe there's something that that caught you by surprise or something you'd like to elaborate on. Don't forget to unmute yourselves, or if you want to type it in the chat, we'll monitor that as well.
Arlene, I'm wondering, has there been an increase in the number of residents at Chapman since COVID?
Well, we have, and I'm not sure if Jessie was able, she was pulling some real-time data today because things are changing all the time. What I can say is that because of COVID, we had a very interesting situation where for a few months we had everything on a standstill. So whoever was on site, and we really couldn't take a lot in, and that was for the safety of you know, the space situation and the safety of our residents and staff. Jessie, do you have any, you know, fresh numbers regarding that?
Yeah, so I was actually talking with our resident care team today, and one of the things that they mentioned is that we actually have, we're always serving our 800 residents between our two centers. So it's 500 in downtown, 300 in Homestead. And although we are still serving those 500 residents at our downtown center, a lot of them have been relocated, right? So we took our elderly residents, we put them in what we call an ALF, which is an assisted living facility. so that they can, carry through the rest of the pandemic without worry of exposure to the virus or anything like that. And we are doing tests bi-weekly at the center as well. So those numbers as to how many residents we have within the center are definitely constantly changing. But as of earlier today, we probably maybe had about 300 within the center. But we're still providing all of those resources for all of our residents, whether they're at the center, at the ALF, or if for whatever reason they do test positive for coronavirus, if they have been relocated to a hotel, we still provide them with all of the services that they need. So we deliver them their meals, we make sure that their case managers are in contact with them. It's still very much as if our residents were to be on site. So we are still, always going towards the same amount of 800 residents within our facilities. So to answer your
one,
go ahead.
No, finish your response.
So just to answer you, we are serving our 800 residents, whether it is on-site or off-site. So regardless of anything, whether there's been an influx of numbers due to the virus, really those questions are mostly geared towards the homeless trust because they're the ones that kind of monitor that situation much more. We just take care of the residents once they come to Chapman Partnership.
One thing that we're also monitoring are those, as you might have heard on the tour, that we have a CHAP app, which is something that keeps the follow-up case managers connected once the individual or family moves out. And so that's definitely something that they're keeping an eye on because of the job loss possibilities, housing loss possibilities. We really want to make sure that there's not a return back into homelessness. And it's been an amazing model that has that we've adapted into over the past few years to really increase the success rate. So that being said, there have been some families that, because of that connection, we're able to immediately lock in with the follow-up case manager and then get them connected to resources immediately before they fall into homelessness again. As of, I know, March, when things were really immediate and critical, there were about, I want to say 10 individuals that were in that follow-up plan that did not return, but they were being extra cared for into the safety net, if you will.
I have one question, maybe for Jessie, I think. We all know, at least most of us on the call, that Chapman is a process, right? It's a very thorough process. And then at the end of that, the idea or what success is when a resident moves out, they no longer need Chapman ever again. They might have fond, memories of what the organization did for them, but that person is ideally going to have a job that can support them paying their own rent. We might do a lot of things to help that. Sometimes we'll put down the deposit, the security deposit for them, provide furniture, etc. But the idea is that once they leave, they can become self-sufficient. And without that job, really, there's no way for that to be sustainable. And I think sustainability is that key word. Is the process completely stopped right now because people aren't able to leave? I mean, have we had any people, any of the clients moving out recently, or is it just frozen?
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I was talking to two of our program services managers today, and I asked her, I said, Vanessa, how is this, how is the process going? What does the process look like? And she says, as long as we're able to keep moving, we're going to keep moving. So they're 100% still meeting with their residents. The residents are still meeting with their case managers. If it's within their plan to move out at a certain time and they're able to, we will absolutely move them out within that time. We're not, it's definitely a little bit more work because of the pandemic, but if we are able to successfully move them out into a self-sufficient situation, we absolutely are. So we are actually having more residents come in for intake because we're able to continue to move our residents out. So that full plan as to finding a job and finding a living situation that works best for that resident or for that family is still very much something that our case managers are working on, and very much so because of the CHAP app, like Arlene mentioned. You know, we're still able to do all of those things virtually. We're still able to do those things via a phone call or an email. So absolutely, we're still moving towards that. It definitely is working a little slower because of the situation, but we're still moving residents out successfully. So that's definitely something really important and really fantastic that is still going on at Chapman Partnership.
I think another interesting dynamic that's happening is that a lot of families and individuals are self-resolving as well. You know, they might be finding, you know, family to connect with, or you know, or another support resource, because you know, that's what we do when we're in. Sometimes we need the backup of a homeless assistance center, but many times we really encourage through the case management to, are there other possible family members? Are there other resources that you might have that can help, you know, kind of bolster you in this moment? And that has happened. The other important thing to consider is that we still haven't seen 100% the ripple effect of the COVID situation. And so we are certainly keeping our eye on the relationships that we have. The success of Chapman is because the relationships that the case managers might have with housing, you know, assistance, with rent, with relationships with apartments and landlords and things like that kind of help this move. But we certainly have a lot ahead as far as what employment issues they're going to be. And I think that's why we have been in the background working on the Chapman 2.0, which is what the Social Enterprise Academy is about, to kind of create an additional employability factor, whether it's the new, you know, learning a new trade, shifting there. Heather, if you're on the call, you spoke about someone from the Social Enterprise Academy, that they were shifting from one career to another through the Social Enterprise Academy. I think it was a chef. I'm not sure if Heather is on, but we were on a call the other day, and she was discussing that someone who was laid off because they worked in a restaurant and they were having, you know, difficulty, decided to learn a new trade through the Social Enterprise Academy that we offer right on site. So being innovative, collaborative, and as resourceful as possible.
I have a question, Arlene. How has Chapman adapted to virtual learning over the last few months for the children at the center? Can you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. And I know that Jessie has been seeing it firsthand, but we have been, from the first moment that, you know, parents at home are trying to figure out what to do with the virtual learning. Do they have the right technology available? We were doing the same thing at the Family Resource Centers. And I know that thanks to, for example, the support that NextGen did a drive early on to make sure that we had tablets available for the kids, that we had additional, you know, Wi-Fi ability, headphones, every resource that we could possibly do by bringing in partners or grants into it. We were assisting families with the, sorry, Heather just sent a note that she's watching on Facebook Live, but she couldn't get into the Zoom. Hi, on Facebook Live. I've never done that before. Anyway, so we have done just what families at home have been doing, is figuring out the new normal. We have done some innovative things with the social distancing, right? Creating smaller group areas. That's been a challenge, but we've done it, is creating smaller learning areas. Finding opportunities for families to have recreation together, because we have a limited amount of space on, you know, at the center. That's the Homestead location. I don't know if any of you have been to the Homestead location, probably for the barbecue, but it's a larger, you know, there's a field, there's a lot more runaround room, but in downtown, it's a lot more urban. So the creativity of scheduling time, you know, when a family can go to this area and then the next family can go. We had our FRC staff, the Family Resource Center staff, shifting their hours so that they were available during the day for learning time, for tutoring, and just kind of getting the kids through to the end of the school year. And then, of course, the summer has been a different summer camp experience than they had expected. Typically, they would have gone to field trips and different, you know, water activities and all kinds of things. But we had a lot of virtual groups doing some interesting things with the kids, keeping them active. With the younger kids, for example, Lori Jennings had a new program called Stories with Lori, and she was doing story time virtually, recording herself, reading stories, and, you know, just kind of engaging with the kids in this same kind of format. So, is there anything you wanted to add, Jessie, that you may have seen firsthand on site?
Sure. So in terms of the summer camp experience, like you were mentioning, it's definitely changed, but that doesn't mean that we haven't had a wide array of activities going on. So recently we had activities where the kids can cook virtually, activities where they can do arts and crafts virtually, or you know, painting on canvas, or dance parties or things like that. So you know, through the help of our community, we have really been able to kind of supplement a lot of those activities that we would usually have that were very one-on-one or very in a physical sense, and really made them accessible to all of our kids as well. So it really has shifted. It really has changed the way that we think of activities. But I think the kids in the FRC have definitely haven't felt that much of a shift because of the wonderful activities that we have been having going on lately. And as Arlene mentioned, all of the FRC staff is fantastic. And because of the shift and everything, some of our other staff members who may be, you know, around the center doing other jobs have been placed in places like the FRC to kind of help, you know, to manage all of the kids, or to watch over all of the kids, I should say, or to help in other areas. So that additional help has also really made it a really easy transition, you know, really having all of those additional hands to help our kids really transition into this virtual world that we're now living in. So it's definitely been a shift, but it's been an easy one, thankfully.
Thankfully, because there were a lot of things to deal with, right? We had curfews and, you know, things changing, and whether school was in, whether it's out, whether they have their, some schools gave out their laptops early, some didn't. I mean, it's been the most resilient that I've ever seen us have to, you know, kind of have to be. So we have a really great team, front lines. I have to say that again.
Arlene, I'm going to ask a question to you, but I don't know if you're the appropriate person, but I'm directed towards you since I know you. I have two questions. So being the principal of a new Catholic high school that's opening up in Miami that only serves low-income families, one of the key components that I'm putting together is our students have to do community service. And I don't want them to just do a community service hours here and there. Like, I want it to be a community service project where they're actually invested in researching the reasons and just taking it to a whole nother level. What opportunities could our students have to volunteer at Chapman? And not just our students, myself as well. Like, my wife and I love volunteering. So are there also volunteer opportunities for us? And then the second question is, considering that we are a Catholic high school that's only serving low-income families, is there any opportunity for your families to take advantage of a school like Cristo Rey?
Well, I definitely can answer some of it. Jessie, again, is firsthand with the volunteer program. So I know that it's been a challenge because we can't have anyone on site right now, but we could tell you that what the typical volunteer program looks like, and I'll give Jessie the floor for that. And I do know that for young professionals, NextGen, for example, has wonderful time together, serving meals and even doing special experiences for the kids on site, whether it's NextGen or a church group or the Paralegal Association of Miami, you know, like the different civic groups come together all the time to do hands-on experiences. Right now that's on hold. So how we're shifting it, you know, I've got some things that we're doing, but Jessie, how have we had to shift the volunteer opportunities right now?
Right, so like as Arlene had mentioned, we have suspended all of our volunteer activities at this time, really until further notice. And unfortunately, we don't necessarily have a set date as to when volunteers will be able to come back on site. But typically, the process in becoming a volunteer is that you would have to come in for a volunteer orientation, you know, really learn everything that there is about Chapman Partnership and the population that we work with to best serve them, because ultimately, our goal is to empower our residents every step of the way. And the only way that we can empower our residents is if we're empowering our volunteers. So that's definitely the first step before you come on site. The opportunities that we typically had were that you could come in to serve a meal, you could host an activity in our Family Resource Center or FRC, or if you wanted to organize a group volunteer activity, whether it be for your corporation, for your school, or whatever the case is, really just depending on your availability and the need of the center at that time. It could be whether it's a beautification project or just to clean up our warehouse or any of our storage rooms, you know, really anything that quite a bit of odd jobs because we have a lot of residents within the facility. So we definitely want to make sure that we're keeping up with all of those things. And it has definitely been a challenge during the pandemic to come up with opportunities for our volunteers. And it's very clear that they're all going to be virtual for quite some time. And we are absolutely open to opportunities. You know, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the activities that are going on in our Family Resource Center are like virtual dance classes, virtual arts and crafts activities, virtual puppet shows. We're also doing virtual bingo with all of our adult residents, which is being sponsored by of Coral Gables. So any programs and services that we can definitely discuss to, like I mentioned, empower our residents is definitely something that we're willing to have a conversation about. All of our activities definitely have to be limited to no more than 10 for our residents, obviously because of social distancing and just of, you know, risk of exposure. So always different ways to engage our volunteers, even if it is on a much smaller scale. So anything that you or your students, you know, have in mind, you know, definitely have them contact me and we can. It'll take a little bit more planning. It'll definitely take a little bit more conversation than usual, but it's definitely something that we can put together for the upcoming school year. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, and some things that I'm planning with our team. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Some things that we're planning on our end is finding creative ways for the youth to be able to still connect. It's through special drives outside of the center, right? So the meal program is still going on. We still have, thank goodness, our church groups and different groups, you know, paying $450, $350, $600, whatever the meal that they've sponsored, and they might be doing a volunteer situation offsite, you know, within their family or within their community, maybe raising the dollars that help sponsor that meal. So we do have that connection. It's not the same, but we do have that connection. Another thing we're offering students right now is 25 service hours if they participate in the 25K that's coming up in August, but they would have to build the page, talk to people about the homelessness, create a video that goes out into the community. So it's almost like becoming a community advocate to support the homeless. So it's really virtual and in their own space and finding little ways to connect back to the center. Any other questions? All right, well, we could continue to take them, take questions after if you want to reach us. We would be happy to speak with you. And if anything stood out that you didn't realize before, even if you've been there, we'd love to hear that as well. We can now talk a little bit about impact. We're talking about the students. We're talking about what their lives are like a little bit, through the Family Resource Center and how, the new normal has occurred. What I would like to do now is share with you a story about Nia. Many of you may have seen this, but if we go to the next slide. This is an incredible story about a young girl who just graduated high school while at our center. It got national attention, and the Today Show, the Sunday version of the Today Show, came out to meet with Nia. I want to play this version with you. Because of the sake of time, we'll save the Q&A that we pre-recorded until after. We could send it out to you as a follow-up, but I'd like to show this piece.
Graduation ceremonies, like everything else, look very different this year. The traditional cap and gown walk across the stage has been replaced by creative, socially distant send-offs, drive-by diplomas, and valedictory Zoom sessions. For one high school graduate in Miami who kept a secret from her classmates, that diploma was especially sweet, no matter how she got it. NBC's Carrie Sanders has our Sunday closer.
We are the class of 2020.
Nia Nelson, first-generation American, now a proud member of the class of 2020. But the high school senior who just got her diploma is the most improbable of graduates because of what she had to overcome.
October 2018 is when my family and I became homeless.
It's a secret Nia kept from her friends, classmates, and teachers. But now, the girl who would go to McDonald's parking lots to find Wi-Fi to study, who didn't look for excuses, instead took honors and AP classes.
It was a struggle, and I'm just glad I'm making it to the finish line.
That homeless kid, invisible to society, who was sleeping on the streets with her mother and 4 brothers and sisters, just graduated from Miami's iPrep Academy with a 3.9 GPA. What was the hardest moment?
The hardest part about being homeless was carrying the pain, and I brought it to school, and the stress. It affected how I did in the school.
Nia's breaking point came one night as the family slept at a Miami Metro rail station. The next day, Nia confided to a school counselor she was homeless. Suddenly, Nia and her family went from the streets to a shelter, from hard concrete to a bed with sheets. The family had never heard of the Chapman Partnership, had no idea they would give them a place to stay.
How hard was it to finally say, I need help?
It was very hard. We go through situations and we always get through it. So I thought we were going to get through this. And then I was like, maybe we do need help.
Nia's mother from Ecuador.
I'm proud of my daughter because that's the only person in my family she finished high school.
Nia's creative writing teacher, Melissa Keller.
If I would have known that she was homeless, would I have treated her differently? Probably, yes, probably a little bit, like we would treat someone who has a disability.
But she didn't want you to know.
She didn't want us to know.
Despite living on the streets, her class writings full of optimism.
Left the streets in the drought, in Miami, hot and about. For Miami interludes, it gives me hope.
Hope, and now gratitude for the possibilities that lie ahead.
Homelessness does not mean hopelessness.
The 17-year-old surprised at graduation, awarded a full 4-year scholarship to Florida International University.
You represent the very best of us.
Now Nia hopes to one day help others as a nurse. For Sunday Today, Carrie Sanders, Miami.
Arlene, we can't hear you. Sorry.
No, thank you. So Mia was supposed to be with us today live on this call. Today happens to be her birthday, but that's not the reason why she's not on this call. It's because of her full scholarship. She had some meetings with FIU at this exact time. So we'll continue to keep her in our thoughts and prayers as she is venturing forward. We'll skip over this. I'll send it out so that you can see, you know, her in her dorm talking to us via Zoom about what's next in her life. And like Nia, there are so many others. So I want to turn this over to Jesper, one of our council members, to talk about how NextGen supports the students and the things that we do at the center.
Thank you, Arlene. I don't know about you guys, but I have 2 other people in here crying. And I guess I get all emotional when I see a success story like this, because this is one of many success stories, and just seeing Mia go and move on to bigger and better things is exciting all around. And that leads the perfect transition to what NextGen does. What is our signature event? And one of our signature events that we do is that we do a back to school barbecue every year. And I'm so sad that this year we can't be there to do that water slide that you see there, serve lunch with all of the kids, get them excited, pumped for the new school year, have school supplies for them and everything. And I'm sad that we can't be there, but there's an opportunity that we all have today to still be able to help these individuals, still be helpful to help kids know that even though we cannot be there today hosting a barbecue, we can help. And Arlene, I don't know if you can pass it to the next slide. Having technical difficulties. There we go. But there is an opportunity for all of us to be able to help today. I know that it's not going to be a back to school barbecue in the traditional sense. We're not going to be there, but kids still are going to start school. They just announced that school will be starting in Miami-Dade County on August 31st. And I know that it's not at school and it's virtual, but there's still a need to help. And if you today are moved and feel that you can help us in your heart, then we kindly ask that you please text GIVE to the number provided on your screen. Also, if you pull your phones out right now, everyone, I want to see everyone's screen with their phones out right now. Open your camera setting. You're going to see that Q. I don't know how to pronounce Q something code. I'm not too techie, but you're going to see compose a message, and you're going to click on that, and it's going to lead you straight to a text message that says the word give. And then if you press send, you can go ahead and give at different rates. And so actually, Nicole, if you can go one screen backwards, I want to know what you can give today. So we're doing, Chapman has 250 students between both centers. And I'm going to give you the breakdown. Of those 250 students, we have 125 elementary school students. We have 65 middle school students. We have 60 high school students. That gives us 250 students between both centers. And these kids are going to need our help this year. There's not going to be too many people doing drives or anything, so they need our support. So what we're asking is for donations at different levels. High school students are looking for donations of $75. For every $75 you donate, you're helping one high school student. For every $50 you donate, you're helping one middle school student. For every $35 you donate, you're helping one elementary school student. And if you can only give $15, that's okay. That will help with a virtual learning kit. So now let's turn it to the next slide, just so that you know what is in these kits that you're helping with the students. So for middle school, high school students, you're going to see a breakplates too, so what these funds translate to. Elementary school students, glue, scissors, markers, crayons. And I know that you may say, Jenny, but how, I mean, can't I just send this at this moment? Donations, taking care of donations are really difficult, and letting the people like Jessie, who's at the center taking care of those orders, is key. And I'm seeing the virtual kit. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Headphones, right? Screen wipes, antibacterial. These are basic necessities that students need and that will cover for the entire year. So I kindly ask that if you consider making that donation today and continue helping NextGen be able to serve our homeless community, particularly our homeless children. Let's not make them feel like they could not get these things or be ready for school. The more that we can, the more we can prepare them to succeed. And I want to hear more Nia stories. That's what I want from these kids. So thank you again for your time. I'm going to turn it over now to Jackie to do any closing remarks, but thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you everybody for joining. I just submitted my donation via text. It was very simple. Just continue to follow the prompts and it'll get done. Let's really keep this going. Thank you, Carlos. I see all of your phones. Thank you so much. We're going to keep this going until September 5th. We've really set a goal for the next month to share this link, share this text to give a phone number, and encourage everyone to make a small donation. Everything counts. Our goal is to raise $10,000 so that all 250 children are fully funded for the next school year. So please write down this number and share it with your friends. I know I'll be working with Arlene, and we'll send a follow-up email to everyone that participated today to just share the NextGen link for membership with all of you. Share this phone number again, and also share Nia's success story, because I think that's something that just, it's so impactful and continues to really be a testament to the great work that is being done at Chapman Partnership. So thank you again for joining.
I want to thank you. That was amazing. And I want to mention that if text is easy, perfect, we also have the giving ability on our website. So there would be a special place for the back to school drive if you want to drive people there as well.
Thank you. And if anybody has questions, feel free to reach out to any one of our council members. We are always happy to talk anything NextGen with you. So stay safe, stay healthy, wear a mask, and I hope to see you on September 5th. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Great to see you, Cesar.